Something has shifted at work, and no one's officially said it out loud, but everyone can feel it. We're being asked to give more output, more adaptability, more resilience, and quietly we're getting less back. Less certainty, less support, less sense that this is actually working for us. So today, I want to unpack what's really going on, because this isn't burnout, this is a broken deal. Welcome to Hard at Work with me, Trina Sunday. This space is for HR leaders who care deeply about performance and equally deeply about people. For more than 25 years, I've been asking one persistent question. What are the real conditions for happiness at work? Because when humans come first, something deeper shifts. How people show up, how leaders decide, and how work feels. Here, we explore what it really takes to lead with courage, compassion, and clarity, and we pull up a chair to the conversations HR leaders don't always get to have. There's heart here, but there's also depth. If you're ready to build workplaces where people and performance thrive side by side, you're in the right place. Let's get to the heart of it. All right, I need you to come with me on this one, because I have gone down a rabbit hole. Not a neat, curated, here are 3 insights type rabbit hole. I mean a full-blown version. Multiple tabs open, Gartner, Hays, McKinsey, Deloitte, PwC, a bit of World Economic Forum for good measure. At one point, I genuinely thought I might need my whiteboard and possibly a lie down. And it all started with a deceptively simple question. Why are so many employees feeling let down by their employers right now? Not disengaged, not just tired, let down. So instead of jumping to a neat answer, I thought you might want to follow the bouncing ball with me, because what I'm about to walk through is exactly how my brain works when I'm trying to absorb all of this noise and work out what actually matters for HR leaders. And where I keep landing again and again is this. The employment deal has quietly changed. Let's start with Gartner, because they don't soften this. They're essentially saying the employment deal is shifting to give more, expect less. And when you unpack that, higher expectations for time and effort, longer work days, heavier workloads, constant change, alongside reduced flexibility, lower investment in people, and less job security. Yay. Now, we can make that real for a second. Like, picture a mid-level manager. They've lost 2 roles in their team. They're still expected to deliver the same outcomes. They're being told, be more strategic, lean into the AI, develop your people. But they're also sitting in back-to-back meetings, approving things they shouldn't need to approve, and quietly doing work that used to belong to someone else. But no one's actually said, by the way, the deal has changed. Happy Tuesday. And then Gartner adds this. Only 47% of CHROs believe culture drives performance. Not even half. And 64% of leaders say that they don't have the mindset to lead change. Wow, okay. 2/3 of leaders don't have the mindset to lead change. Not a small gap. That's an organisation asking for elite performance while still running on yesterday's operating system. And this is where things started to click for me, because I kept thinking, this is not a workload thing. This is not just workload. What actually is this? And this is where Denise Rousseau comes in. The psychological contract. Not the written one, the one people feel. If I give this, I expect that. And what Rousseau is observing now is a really big shift from relational, long-term, mutual, trust-based, to transactional. It feels short-term, conditional, immediate. And even more interesting, she describes work becoming transitional or unstable, where organizations are shifting toward tech while avoiding long-term commitment to people. So this isn't just about workload. It's about whether people still believe the exchange is fair. Now layer in Hays, because Gartner gave us the structure. Hays gives us the emotion. FOBO. That's right, FOBO. The fear of becoming obsolete. Not missing out, becoming irrelevant. And I want to make that real. I was speaking to a senior HR leader recently, incredibly capable woman, experienced, sharp, and she said to me, I feel like I am constantly trying to prove that I still add value. 20 years in. not because she doesn't, but because the ground underneath her has shifted and no one's explained how to bloody stand on it anymore. Hayes is also saying that AI is now augmenting complex creative work. We were kind of all really comfortable when it was the administrative stuff. Not all of us, not if it was your job. But now that it's the complex creative work, people are asking, oh my goodness, what is left for me? And the line that came through from them is gold. Without communication and upskilling, organisations create fear instead of momentum. So at the top, AI is transformational, yay! At the team level, am I being replaced? Same strategy, different reality. And this is where it gets even more uncomfortable, right? Hayes is telling us that 21% of people are using AI. Awesome. 21%. But 52% of organisations say they are. Yet the majority of them are also reporting skill shortages, especially in human skills. So if we translate that, we are asking people to adapt in systems that haven't built that capability. And that creates a really specific kind of pressure. It sounds like, I should be better at this. Everyone else seems to be more ahead than me. I don't want to fall behind. And it shows up in really small moments. Someone opens AI, you go to draft something, does a pretty decent job, and instead of feeling relieved, you kind of feel slightly unsettled, like, oh God, that used to be my thinking. Like, that's not resistance, that's identity shifting. Things have changed. And when I bring this home and look at it in the Australian reality, Gartner's telling us that job confidence is at a 3-year low. People are staying. But not because they're inspired. Sorry, it's not because they're inspired. And I had someone tell me even yesterday, I'm not looking, but I'm not exactly staying either. Like, that's not loyalty, that's positioning. We've moved from, I love it here, to the economy's weird, man, I've got a mortgage. And then Ari adds, organisations are recalibrating, investing in capability, but leadership and AI readiness are limiting impact. So we get pause, we get pressure, we get recalibration. All at once. It's exhausting. Now, if we zoom out, Deloitte says speed and agility are now the competitive advantage. Probably always has been. But McKinsey is saying work's changing rapidly. Been saying that for years. But you know what hasn't changed? What people value hasn't changed. And this is where it becomes almost beautifully simple if you follow the human element at the core of all of this. Because after all of this disruption, change, AI, geopolitical crises, what's happening with the economy, after all of this disruption, people still want fairness. They want growth, respect, good leadership, clarity, meaning. Not more AI, but treat me properly, help me grow, be honest with me. And PwC reinforces that tension. They're saying productivity's up, fatigue is high, anxiety is real. So we end up here. Yep, work is evolving fast, but human needs are not. And the gap between these two, that's where the friction lives. Mind the gap. So if I bring this together, this is not secure work moving to insecure work. It is way deeper than that. This is relational work moving to being conditional work. And that changes everything. And we can make that real, right? Like, think of someone who joined your organisation 5 years ago. The promise might have been, grow here, we'll invest in you, build your career. Fast forward to now, the message is different. Stay relevant, keep up, make sure you're adding value. Same organisation, completely different deal. And here's my thoughts on this. People can handle hard work. People can handle pressure. They can handle uncertainty. But what they struggle with is imbalance. When it feels like I'm giving more, I'm adapting more, I'm carrying more, without clarity on what am I getting back? That is exactly what Rousseau warns about. Trust doesn't break because of change. It breaks when the exchange becomes one-sided, unclear, and unstable. That's when people don't just disengage, they detach. They're floating in space, y'all. And this is where it becomes real. Oh, so much real talk today. Like, work has become that person who always asks for favours, never reciprocates, and somehow forgets your birthday. You still show up, you still do the thing, but emotionally, you've stopped expecting anything back. You are no longer invested in that relationship. So now, HR, the question's not how do we improve engagement? The question is, are we willing to redesign the deal? Because right now, expectations are rising, systems are unchanged, reciprocity is unclear, and people are noticing. Well, not all people. So back to Rousseau. The psychological contract was never written, but it has always been understood. And right now, that understanding is shifting, not because people have changed, but because the deal has. And trust doesn't collapse, it erodes. That is exactly why I'm creating the People Unconference. This is not for perfect answers, but for real conversations. What is the deal now? Is it fair? Is it sustainable? And what are we willing to change as the people? Because if we don't start asking different questions, we will keep optimizing a system that people are quietly disengaging from. And I don't think that's the future of work that any of us set out to lead. Do you? If this conversation resonated with you and you're seeing some raw deals out there and you're sitting there thinking, this is exactly what I'm seeing too, then I really want to invite you into a different kind of room. Not the rabbit hole, an actual room. The People Unconference is happening in Perth on the 2nd of July. It's not about being talked at. It's about sitting alongside other HR leaders and actually working through what's real right now. No polished answers, no pretending everything's fine, just honest conversations, shared thinking, good company, and collective problem solving, including some live in the room for some real challenges facing organisations that don't have you working for them. And I'm keeping it intentionally small, just 60 people. So if you are ready to lead differently, I would love to see you in the room. Head to trinasunday.com to learn more or to lock in your spot. Thanks for spending time with me. If this conversation challenged you, clarified something, or simply reminded you that you're not the only one holding the tension between people and performance, then it's done exactly what it was meant to. This work isn't easy, but it is necessary. HR has a new future, and it leads with heart. So if you found value here, subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Share this episode with someone who also believes that work can be better. And if you want to go deeper, you can explore the Heart Work model, the programs, and the growing community of HR leaders at trinasunday.com. Because when HR leads with clarity, courage, and compassion, it doesn't just change workplaces, it changes lives. Until next time, keep asking better questions, keep backing your voice, and keep putting humanity at the center of performance. Let's keep heart at work.